taking the doubts like in this peer deck session and also as well as in the session. So those who want to write your doubts, you can write it in this peer deck session. Right, you can join in this session and then I will give a place where you will write the doubts that you have. Okay. So I will paste the code for this peer deck session in the chat box. If you want to write something, some doubts in between the session, you can just write it over there. Please refer the chat box to get the code. Okay. Okay. So I will stop my screen share now. And yeah, Nalini ma'am can continue.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, first we'll go through the activity questions of week 4. Yeah, like can anyone tell why, like what is the error in this code? Like why it is getting compiler error?
Multiplication has not been implemented.
Yes, yeah, that is correct. Yeah, because this operation class, yeah, you are correct. This operation class is extending the calculator class. It has 4 abstract methods. So like addition, subtraction, and multiplication and division are 4 abstract methods of this class calculator. So if a class inherits this abstract class, it should define all the abstract methods of that class. But here, so it is not mandatory to declare all the abstract methods. If you are not declaring all the abstract methods of the class which you are inheriting, then you should declare that class also as abstract, that class as well as abstract. So, but this is not happening here. In this, here the operation class is extending the class calculator class. It has 4 abstract methods: addition, subtraction, and multiplication and division. Only the 3 methods are implemented, are defined here. So because multiplication class is not defined, and also this, what, you are not declaring this operation class as abstract. If you declare this operation class as abstract, this is correct, but you are not declaring that as abstract, no, so it will give compiler error. So you cannot create, if you declare this class as abstract, you cannot create the object of this class. In that case also you will get compiler error. Yeah, is it clear for everyone? Is it clear for everyone? Or yeah, you can ask if you have some any doubt in this question.
It's clear, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, instead of extends, if we write implements, will it also give
See,
error?
because you are what? If you write implements instead of extends, if you write implements, yeah, it will give error, because implements is a keyword which is used to what? To implement interface. Like if you are using interface and if you want to implement that interface in your class, then you should use implements. Implements is a keyword used for interface, and what extends is the keyword used for classes. So
Okay,
if you want to inherit a class, then you should use extends. But if there is interface, if it is an interface instead of class, if there is interface here, then you should write implements here. Here you should write implements. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Like, can anyone tell the output of this code? Like, what will be the output here?
Current semester is 4 and
This
subjects
will
will
throw
be
an error, I think.
Okay, I'm getting different answers. Okay, okay, you can tell your answers. Like, yeah.
Since I am calling object.sameSubjects,
You are calling. Can you tell which line, which thing you are talking about? Object dot same subjects.
no, sorry,
Okay.
I was wrong. I didn't read the code properly. I'm calling a dot current sim, but a is not an abstract attribute, so it won't throw an error. And also object dot same subject, because object is an instance variable and it is correctly implementing the abstract method, so it won't throw an error. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. It's fine. Okay. Okay. Now we have abstract class A. It has what? Final static int current sim. It has one method and it will return 4. The method name is current sim, and it also has another abstract method, sim subjects. Now class B is what? Inheriting class A. The class B extends A. Here, what are the abstract methods in class A? Only this sim subjects. So this method is defined in class B. Okay, there is no problem till here. And what you are doing here is like you are you are creating what reference of class A, but what object you are creating is new B. So there is no problem because you are not creating the object of abstract class, you are creating the object of class B, that is like completely defined concrete class. So yeah, so you won't get error here because you are not creating that object. And what you are printing here, so current semester is a string and you are calling a dot current sim. A dot current sim, what it will return? It will return 4. Is it clear for everyone till now, till here? And then,
Yes, ma'am.
and then you are writing new line. So you will, so the output will be like current sim is to 4.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Is it for everyone? Am I not audible or am I audible?
No, ma'am, you are audible.
You are audible, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you. So now you have encountered new line character here, no? So the what cursor, like cursor will move to the new line here. So you will get subjects and obj dot same subjects. That is, you are calling some subjects method. So this statement, it is returning DBMS, DSA and programming concepts using Java. So what is happening? You are overriding some subjects method in the class B, but because the object is of type B, so this method same subjects will be called here. Okay, yeah, you can, like, if anyone has doubt, you can ask. Yeah, I hope it is clear for everyone. Yeah, please don't hesitate in asking, like you can
Madam,
ask.
I have a question here.
Okay.
Just concentrate on that line A object equal to new B.
Okay, yeah.
So suppose I have written new A. So I'm creating an object of class A, not class B. Then the error, certainly an error will occur. Will the error be on compilation time or runtime?
See, actually you will get error. Why? Because you cannot create the object of abstract class because you have method which is what, not completely defined here, right? You have a method which is not completely defined here, so you cannot get you cannot create the object of that class, so you will get the compile time error. But the memory allocation, you are telling like, but the memory allocation will happen at the runtime, right? Sorry, I'm
So
not
during compilation time, it is recognizing that the intrinsic object it is pointing to is of class B and not class A. Is it what you're saying?
Can you repeat, Sandeep, Mr. Sandeep?
Sir, I am discussing the line A object equal to new B. So I'm creating a reference variable which is of type A, class A, but the object it is pointing to is of class B. But the object it is pointing to class B is determined on runtime, not on compile time. Is it correct thing to assume?
So you want to write new A, right? New A, and then you want to say that whether it is a runtime error or a compile time error, right?
Yeah, that's the first question.
Yeah. Okay.
The second question, okay, if you can answer the first question, then I can proceed with the second question.
Yeah. So when you're calling the constructor, that constructor call is there, right? I mean,
Yes.
whenever A first bracket open, first bracket close is there, so the compiler will know that you are whether you are putting it into what superclass object, subclass object, that is something. But new A is, I mean, the compiler sees that, right? So it will say that it is abstract class. So you cannot create a constructor.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What is like? You can tell the output of this. What will be the output of this code?
It will give an error because the final abstract isn't a valid set of keywords, combination of keywords.
Yes. Yeah. If you declare something as abstract, then you should, like, the class which inherits that new year is an abstract class. So the class which inherits the newer class should implement this method string, this method resolution. But you have final keyword here. If the method is declared as final, then the method cannot be overwritten. Like, you cannot override that method, no. So that is illegal combination. So you will get an compiler error. Yeah, is it clear for everyone? Okay, I hope so. Like, it is clear. Okay, what is the output of this code?
The factorial of 1 is 1.
Yeah, the factorial of 1 is 1 because the factorial class is extending maths class, which has this find factorial method in it. So if you are inheriting, if the class is inheriting one class, other class, like the factorial class is inheriting the max class. So all the methods and all the instance variables, not all, like public methods, the public generally the public methods and this instance variables will also be the part of this factorial class. So yeah, now you are creating the object here inside the main. You are creating the object of the factorial class and you are calling the find factorial method by passing 1 as the argument. So the execution happens here. So this dot store equal to y, that is you are storing 1 in 1 in store. So store will become 1, and while y is not equal to 0, that is, so you are generally you are executing this. So you are checking, you are iterating till you are doing this iteration till your value is not equal to 1, not equal to 0, and what you are doing is you are finding, generally how will you find a factorial? Factorial equal to factorial of n equal to n into factorial of n minus 1, no, same thing you are doing here. So you are updating by in each and every iteration. So if you do this, you will get 1 is the output. So the factorial of 1 is 1. Is it clear for everyone?
So madam, in this question,
Okay.
I'm declaring an abstract class, but not declaring any methods or attributes as abstract. In that case, the compiler will just ignore the abstract keyword in the class declaration.
See, that you are just declaring the class as abstract, but it doesn't has any abstract method. No, class is completely filled, like everywhere. Like, so no, like no method is abstract here. So the class, so you can what?
Okay, it's a valid construct. Okay.
Yeah. So you can declare a class as abstract without having any abstract methods, but you cannot you cannot create the object of this class because it is abstract, but it is valid. Like there can be or cannot be any abstract methods in the abstract class.
So this is one of the motivation why even if I don't intend to create any abstract methods, I can still call the class abstract just to prevent anyone from creating an instance of the class.
Yeah, you can say that like that also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in lecture, sir said that we cannot declare abstract class without any abstract method. Otherwise, that will be an error. I posted this on Discourse as well. So here we are not using any abstract method, but still that class is functioning as an abstract class and giving the output. So how it compiles? Means
See,
what is the
sir
process?
has mentioned like it should contain like abstract class can have abstract class should have at least one abstract method. No, so that means it can have one or greater than one. Yeah, actually, yeah, but generally abstract class you can declare class as abstract. Like if it has if it doesn't have even one abstract method also, you can declare it as abstract.
That
Did
is what I
sir
confused,
tell
ma'am.
did sir tell? Are you
Lecture he
sure?
said different. I'm sure, ma'am. I can tag that also. That video, the Discourse, I will update that. In very first lecture, sir mentioned that clearly. Without any abstract method, you cannot declare a class as an abstract class. Otherwise, that will generate an error. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, you are audible. But yeah, but we okay. Let me. Should I write some code and should we check that?
No. I verified this code. I come to know that without any abstract method, we can run
Yeah.
that class as well. What I
Yeah,
wanted
that
to
is
know is how it compiles, means what happens in backend, how it is ignoring that abstract method. That I want to know.
so. Arup sir or Bhaskar, like, can you like?
No, what do you exactly want to know? How it compiles in backend means?
Sir, because without abstract method, if I'm declaring a class as an abstract, then is it not going to check that any method is either declared as a abstract or not?
Okay, so see, the first thing is search. I means I think in the first or second session we mentioned one thing, right? That here the motive of the course is mainly to communicate the design practices with you all rather than the syntactical thing. So yeah, syntactically you can define an abstract class without an abstract method, without no abstract method also. That is also fine. But the thing is, the search perspective was that the very point you are defining an abstract class is to have the abstract method. See, abstract class is coming later. Abstract method is coming earlier. So you make a class abstract because you want abstract method. It's not like you are creating an abstract class and then you are creating an abstract method. So try to get the idea. The idea is not from a syntactical view. Just think you are a programmer and you are programming something. Now you want a prototype of a function whose implementation you want to do in a subclass, but you do not want to have the prototype do not want to give the prototype a particular definition because that definition will change anyway in the subclasses. Okay, that is by method overriding. So this is the feature that you want. Now how to do that? To get that feature, we are defining abstract methods, and obviously then we define that class in which the abstract, since in Java we cannot have a method outside any class, right? In C++, in Python, you can have a method outside also. But in Java, everywhere you write, anywhere you write a code, it should be inside a class. That's why we define that class abstract. Okay, so the point of view should be from method to class rather than from class to method. Okay, so therefore, syntactically, yes, abstract classes may have no abstract method, but logically, you define an abstract method, and to make it happen, you define that class abstract. Okay, so that is one point. So Sir's perspective was, if you are defining an abstract class, your first motivation to define that is you want to use abstract method. Okay, not syntactically, but yeah, this was the idea. And secondly, if you want to know how it happens, the only thing different is you cannot create an object. Everything is same as a normal class. So yeah, you cannot create an object, and therefore basically you have to inherit. So even if you have any concrete method in abstract class, since you cannot create an object, you cannot actually call that class. I mean, call that method, right? So in order to call that, until and unless it is static. Now, if it is static, then there are static and default methods. Those things are again different. But until and unless it is static, if it is a normal method in the abstract class, like a normal normal method, concrete method, then in order to access that, you also have to inherit that abstract class. Otherwise, you cannot access that. How will you access? Because you do not have an object, right, for abstract class. So once you inherit that, and then you get that method. I mean, by inheritance also you will get, and you can also override if you want, or whatever. Then you can use, I mean, any object of the subclass, and then you can access that method.
Okay, sir. Sir, even the static class, we are not needed to create any object.
Static class, what?
If I define any class as a static class, in that case, I'm not needed to define any object for that. No? Without creating any object, I can just proceed with that.
See, static classes, I mean, it's a little bit different thing. So I don't think we will do that now. But you cannot have a class like that static, right? It can be private, public. Private also, if it is nested class, we'll come to that in this week, right? But even if you try to make a class private, it will give you error. So only default and public are the basic classifier for a modifier for an abstract. Default, abstract, and public. So you cannot define a class static in that way or private in that way. It's in some other than some exceptional scenario.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So just try writing static in front of a class, normal class, and see what happens. It will give you a compile time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So also try writing private. It will also give you compile time. The reason for that is you cannot define a class static or private generally, but there is a particular scenario where you will be able to do that. Private classes, you will read that scenario in this week only, but static classes, I don't think you will read that now. Anyways, so just have the understanding you cannot write static and private in front of a normal class. Okay.
So the private class will always has to be an inner class. It has to be declared inside another class.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So
otherwise, there is no one can access it otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I said, that there are some specific scenarios, so in which you can make it. So private will be allowed if you make it a nested class, inner class. Otherwise, it will not allow. Okay. So basically, in terms of abstract class, you cannot create object. Since you cannot create object, you cannot access any concrete method defined inside that abstract class, and therefore you need to inherit that abstract class into another class whose object would be there, right? And using that object, you can use that concrete method. Okay, but syntactically you may not have any abstract method in abstract class. That is allowed.
Sir, you said like abstract class can be accessed only by inheritance. You said inheriting it. But
I said that you have to inherit.
To access the methods inside abstract class, the only way is to inherit. So, but if you put the method in before that static method, like public static string.
I said that was non-static. I said instance variable.
No, but if you put it, it's wrong, sir. It's an error. Public static string find factorial. We can't access it.
I did not get you. What?
No, if we declare the method inside the abstract class as static, then also there's no other way. Only possibility to use that method is by inheriting the abstract class. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. You have to inherit. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying that method which you have declared in this particular example, you have declared a method called string find factorial public you put.
So
No?
yeah,
So if you
Bhaskar,
put
he's
static,
asking if the method is static, then also like we need to inherit and we need to
No, no,
dot
I
access
think
the
then you
method,
can
or
act-
we can,
no, no,
yeah,
okay,
we
okay,
can
sorry,
access directly, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we can access, right? We can just write a dot whatever the method. I mean class name
Okay.
dot method.
so even without inheriting the class, if the method inside the abstract class has been declared as static, we can directly access the method.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
If it is concrete method, if it is
Okay.
concrete.
Okay, thank you.
The difference is in terms of object. That's the only point. Other everything is same. Okay, okay, ma'am, you
Yeah.
can continue.
Yeah, okay. Moving on. Yeah. What will be the output? Can anyone tell like what is the output here?
And here that arithmetic class should be abstract, no?
Yes, yeah, it should be abstract because it has one abstract method, no? So it should be abstract. If you are not declaring it as abstract, you will get a compiler error because you have not declared this class as abstract, even it has one abstract methods. Is it clear? Is it clear for everyone? I hope it's clear. Okay. Okay, what is the keyword? Which of the following is a keyword is or are used to create an abstract class? So how can you create an abstract class? By declaring the class as abstract, no? So you have seen here previously also, just you are declaring abstract class by what? Including the keyword abstract in your class definition. Yeah, that's how final abstracts, not abstracts, abstract and abstractable, only abstract. Yeah. So this first statement we have already discussed, no? Abstract class can have or may not have any abstract methods. That's why it is not necessary like to have abstract methods always in your abstract class. So statement 1 is false, and why statement 2 is true? Abstract class may also contain concrete class. Yeah, you have seen in the above examples also, like it can have concrete classes also. Is it clear? Okay, I hope it's clear. So how can you declare an abstract class? So an abstract class can have no methods inside it, or it can have at least one abstract method, or it can have concrete methods, or it can be a combination of abstract method or concrete method and concrete methods. Okay, this is this thing we have already discussed. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, I will just tell briefly what is happening. It has one abstract, there is one abstract class IPL. Okay, I will first see. Player 1 equal to new player of, so you are creating an object of player class. Okay, you have class player and you are creating that object. So it is taking IPL and it is taking what object of type IPL. So IPL, it is an abstract class. So yeah, okay, you already know, right? So this is an abstract class. You cannot create the object of abstract class. So how can you create the object of this class? So like CSK and SRH are extending, like they are inheriting the IPL classes. It has one abstract method team inside it. So these methods must be defined in the CSK and SRH classes because they are inheriting IPL class. Okay, and this is taking a string as its argument. So yeah, you are creating an object by giving here new CSK. So you are creating object of CSK class and you are passing Ravi Jadeja as string here. Similarly, you are also, and you are calling the what team method. And similarly, you are creating the other object, and you are passing the new SRH. That is, you are passing an object of SRH class, and you are passing a string along with it, and you are calling the method player2.team, like team method. So what is the output of this code? Is there any error in this code, or what will be the output here? So I think this abstract class, like, yeah, it has team class, which is overridden in CSK and SRH. And now you are declaring what? You are creating the objects and you are calling the team method. So what is the output? Okay, I will wait for 1 more minute. If not, I will explain this if anyone is not responding. Yeah.
Nalini ma'am, can you scroll down a bit? That method calling also. Yeah.
Yeah, can anyone tell like what is unclear for you here in this code? If everything is clear, you can tell what will be the output. So you're calling team method using player 1 and player 2 reference.
It will print Ravi Jadeja and
I think this will generate valid output.
What?
It will generate a valid output because we are extending the abstract class.
Yeah, you are
We are able
extending
to
the
create
abstract
objects.
class. Yeah, and you are overriding the methods. Okay, it is clear.
Yes,
But what will
and so we are able to create objects.
yeah, you are able to create the object. So what is the output of this code?
Now, can you please scroll it down a bit?
Down. You want to see the options, or yeah, you can tell. No?
Options.
See, you can tell it is clear, right? So what you are
creating
that
will go to the CSK.
Yeah, that is go to the CSK.
Ravi Jadeja is CSK team.
And you are calling the team method of CSK.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So what will be the output?
Ravi Jadeja is CSK team, and what is the second player name? That will be is SRH team.
Yeah, you are
Manish
correct.
Pandey.
Yes. Yeah.
And
So
one small doubt, like will this line not create a problem?
which line? This line?
Is public. No. Inside public class player, you have a line called public player and two arguments, IPL.
Yeah, this is constructor. No, this is constructor. Okay. Yeah. So you are in. It has instance variables.
But it's an abstract class.
Nalini ma'am, I will explain. Sir, you're asking about here IPL.
Yeah,
IPL is there, no?
Yeah, it's an abstract class.
So you are passing new CSK. So is it hold this new CSK object into it or not? You are asking about that.
Yeah, because it has to access the IPL abstract class.
Yeah, because
to get it. So
yeah, we know that our superclass reference variable can hold the subclass reference subclass object, no?
Yeah.
So you can pass
Then
It's
CSK and SR.
any subclass object to this reference variable. So that's why it won't create any problem.
So only through CSK and SRH we can access this. That's what.
Yeah, it's a subclass we can pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Should I move on? Like if anyone has doubt, you can ask. Yeah. So
No doubt,
actually, okay. So there is like it is given, no, there is some error in the code. You can identify the error in this code. Is there any error? So yeah, you can tell if there is error or not. Yeah.
Ma'am, that abstract method is there. Get
Okay.
value. It
Yeah.
is not having that curly brackets.
See, abstract method, no. So it doesn't has any definition. It has only like we have declared that we have not defined this function, so it doesn't have any curly braces. So yeah,
So is
this
it allowed? Yes.
yeah, this thing we have already discussed. You should identify the error actually. Yeah. Tell.
Final and abstract are, I mean, written together.
Yeah, illegal
Yeah.
combination.
Yeah, that is not combination.
Yes. So if the method is declared as abstract, then you should the class which inherits that what abstract class, you should define that abstract method in that in the inherited class. No, you should override that method. Basically, abstract method must be overridden. But if you use something as final, then you should not override. No, so that is illegal combination. So abstract and final is illegal combination. So you will get error in line 5. Is it clear? Okay, should I move to the next question, or yeah, if anyone has doubt, you can ask.
Yes, next question, ma'am.
Okay.
No.
Sorry.
I think when I ran this code, there is no problem. I know if it is abstract and final, you will not be able to inherit, but you can always run this program as it is, right?
No, it will generate error.
Error. You
Definitely.
will get.
Abstract
So
and
okay,
final
okay.
combination.
We will. What?
No, we can run this and see, right?
Okay, I will try to execute this code. Like we'll see. Like if we will get will we get some error or not? Okay.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Should I do that, or you got this? Like.
No, not required. Yeah, you can carry on.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Ma'am, please hide the options.
Ma'am, here also yes sedan is not.
So.
It's not abstract.
Yes. So you see, you have declared as a class as abstract, and there is one. Okay, it is legal to have concrete methods also. Like you can have abstract method, class may or may not have any abstract method. But what you have done, you have declared, that means you have declared this method, but you have not defined. If you are not if you are declaring that method, if you are just declaring, then you should mention abstract here. You are not mentioning that here, no, that's why you will get error. So if you are, so you are just declaring that. How do you know you are declaring? Because you have used the semicolon here, you have not used curly braces here. So that means you are declaring this method and you have not declared it as abstract. That is not valid, no, that is like error. So if you have declared a method, then you should write that method as abstract, because the class which inherits that should override the method. So you are not doing that, so you will get error. That is it clear? Or
Nalini ma'am. So here you are not giving abstract before the method, no? So then your compiler will treat it as a fully implemented method. So if you give semicolon here, then it will generate compile time error, because you are not declaring it as abstract, no? So you should not give semicolon here. You should provide implementation for this. Okay.
So, hello, sir.
Yeah.
So, what should be the correct approach? Should we write abstract Boolean is done?
Yeah, then it is valid.
Okay.
abstract boolean, yeah. And there is, see, how do you identify that method is an what abstract method? Like there is semicolon, that means you are not defining that method, you are just declaring. You are just telling like there is method, there is sedan method in the is sedan method in the class car. You are just telling, you are declaring that. So if something is declared in your class and you are not defining that, no, so you are just declaring that. That means you should declare it as abstract. So you should what write here as you should write this method as abstract boolean is done. Then that will be valid. And you are what overriding this method in your class alto, which is inheriting the class car, no? Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, one more question.
Okay.
If I had defined the is sedan, then it would also throw an error, right? Because it can't be redefined since it's a
No,
full-fledged
like
method.
you can redefine, you can override, no, you can override the methods in your child class also, right? So yeah, if you are if you are defining this method, just you keep, if you have inserted curly braces here instead of semicolon, then that means this method is defined. So you are writing public boolean is done in your class alto, like this class is child class of car. That means you are overriding this method in your child class. So yeah, that means, so what, I will use some example. So you have some phone. Yeah, the phone, like you are like there is a class parent class and there is another class child class. There is what one method phone method inside your what parent class and also child class as well. So inside this phone method, you are just printing your phone number. Okay, in your parent class you are printing the phone number of your parent, and in your child class you are printing your number. If you say like that, so like, is it clear like what I am telling?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Yeah,
understood.
so that means you are overriding that method, so that is allowed. So whatever methods present in the parent class can be overridden. You can declare your own methods in your child class. That means you can override, you can define in your own way in the child class also. Is it clear? Like, yeah, you can override the methods in your child class which are present in the what parent class also. That means,
Yes, ma'am, it's clear. Thank you.
yeah. Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in parent class, if I don't want to write it as abstract, then what I have to do?
You should define that method, no? That means, okay, you should give some definition inside that, or you just give this curly braces, what this curly flower braces, then that means this method is defined. That means you, if you keep semicolon, that means you are just declaring, that is, you are declaring that method without defining anything. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So how can you create an interface? By using the interface keyword. All remaining all keywords are like, it's not irrelevant to create an interface, no? Okay, which keyword is used to implement an interface? By using implements. If you want to implement an interface in your class, then you should write class A implement some interface, like class A implements. You should use implements keyword. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, can anyone tell the output of this code?
We cannot create a new instance of interface, right? So new B should be throwing an error.
Yes, you cannot create object of interface because all methods in your interface are abstract. So like, so there is no definition of your method. So like there is no point of creating object of that class, no? So interface, you cannot create the objects of interface. So it will give you an error. Okay.
Just one
That's all.
follow-up question. So as of Java 8, we have some default methods also part of interface.
Yeah, default methods are also interface, but there will be abstract methods also in your interface, no? Like, yeah, like default and starting methods are also allowed in your interfaces. Okay.
So will the syntax means it might be instance creation cannot be done, but still we can call methods out of interface.
Yeah, definitely. You can what you can call those what. So if this method is something like default method tell direction, if there is some statement in that system.out.println not something like that, so you can what, there will be some class child what class which implements that what interface. Let's take only this, let's take this methods as it is, but there is one default method in this. So public default string tell direction method is there. In that you have some statement system.out.println of not, that is default method. So how can you call that what a tell direction method? By using the class C, but not class but not this interface B. You cannot create object of interface, so you cannot tell new B dot tell direction at that time as well. So how can you what, how can you call that method? By using what object of type class C. So you can say new C dot tell direction, then okay, at that time it will return this statement only. But if this method is not present in your class C, then it will print not. Is it clear, or should I write that code?
Means like two things are possible, right? One, a default method can be present, and another a
Okay,
static
I will
method.
write here. Yeah, two things are possible here. So if there is something default here, default method in your this here, and oh sorry, I'm writing here. So let assume here this should be here. So you are defining it as, here you have one statement system.out.println of not. Let's take this. Now you don't have let us assume simply, let us assume like you don't have this method in your class C. So you can call the tell direction method by saying new C dot tell direction, then you will get output as not. So this won't be there. Yeah. So you can, interfaces can have default methods in it. If it is like, you can what, if there is default methods, you should what, you can define it. So like system, I'm defining it with system.out.println of north, like I'm writing this statement. So you are not overriding this default method in your class C. So if you are creating an object of class C, and if you are calling the tell direction method, if you are calling the default method of the interface, then it will print the this not statement only, because you have some definition inside it, and that definition is not overridden in your child class. So you will whatever statements which are present in interface, in the default method of interface, that will be executed.
And in this case, you have striked out that overriding
Yeah,
method.
Yeah, I have
My-
striken out overridden method
my-
just to show like output as not.
Yeah, my question is, if we keep that that method,
Then it will
overriding
call-
method as it is, and try to print only that B class, that not, try to print only the B class method, is it possible? Keeping without striking out, just keeping that C class tell direction method
So
as it
no,
is, and try to-
that it won't be possible, because see, that is default. The default means, okay, if you have not defined your method, you can use this method. That
So
means
it's
that is
inaccessible
default.
means the B class methods is inaccessible means, then what is the use of defining a method inside that? How to access?
See, if you are not defining that method in your child class, use this method as default. If you are not defining that in your child class, if you are not overriding, if you are not defining that method in your child class, then you can use this method. That's why I'm giving this as default. I'm defining this method as default.
Yeah, I understood, ma'am. But in case in this inside the C class, you haven't striked out that tell direction method remains as it is, then what is the point if you can't access that B class tell direction method at all?
So like the point is, like if there is some class like called D, if it is not, see, that means the purpose is like, if you are not going to override that method in your child class, you can use this. That means that's all. Like,
Okay,
yeah, that's all.
Okay,
Like, yeah. Yeah, Bhaskar or Arup sir, do you want to add
Yeah.
anything?
Yet actually. Yeah, Arup sir.
Yeah, it's a simple way, like if you have a method inside the interface, which is by default an abstract. So it is like in your class, you're supposed to implement it, right? In your concrete class. But suppose you don't implement it in some way. So normally it shows an error, right? But if you have a default definition in the interface, then if you don't implement in your concrete class, what it will happen? It will take the default definition what you have provided on the interface.
So Arup, I guess his question was, here in public class C, we still have the definition of string tell direction, but what is the purpose of then the default method in tell direction?
Yeah,
So-
defining the method inside
interface. The answer to that will be, there is suppose another public class D which implements B, which does not have this defined, no? Then it will use the default.
So we can access only if that overriding method is not available in D.
That's correct. See, there could be,
Yeah.
so here C has implemented B. There is a D which implements B, which does not have an overridden function. Then it will take care of the make use of the default.
Okay. I understood. Thank you.
Yeah, Nalini, I'm done.
Yeah, so just two things I want to tell. One thing is, I checked that abstract class thing that someone pointed out, right? That inserts lecture. So I think, sir, you can still provide the timestamp and all, but what I see in abstract class lecture, Java V4 lecture 1, right? So in that lecture at timestamp 450, after 4 minutes 50 seconds, sir is actually explaining that abstract class part. So there, sir is telling that if you define an abstract method, the same thing that I said, that you should look from method to class, not from class to method. So if you define an abstract method, then you should make the class abstract compulsory. It's not that if you make a class abstract, then you should define abstract method. So sir is also telling the same thing only, that if you have an abstract method, then the class must be defined abstract. Otherwise it will be error. That is totally correct, right? So if you define abstract method, then the class must be abstract. Otherwise it will give you compile time. Okay, so yeah, you can check that. So whoever told that, you can check that video once again, or maybe somewhere else you find this, then you can provide the timestamp. So that was one thing. And another thing is this default method. see the idea why default method was introduced. I mean, initially default methods were not there, right? In interface, only abstract methods were there. The idea why default methods was introduced is same as what Arup had told, that some interfaces, now we are only learning the basic concept of interfaces, right? But when we proceed further in the course, you will see that there are many interfaces which will be required by you to do some coding, and these interfaces are not the ones that you will define. Rather, these are interfaces that Java system already has inbuilt. Okay, so like Runnable is an interface which is used for threading. Serialization is an interface which is used for file handling also, right? Serializable. So serializable is used in another context, but it is also used for simple file handling. Okay, so there are many interfaces which are implemented internally into the Java system, which you will not define, but you need to use those interfaces to achieve some functionality. System interfaces, right? The problem is these methods, whenever we are evolving, I mean, whenever we are moving forward in time, the Java developers who are there, they are introducing new features, right? So in these interfaces, which are system interfaces, so in these interfaces, they are implementing new features, new methods, right? Now you suppose you are a company who is working on a particular interface, a system interface, and your code base is depending on that interface. After 5 years or maybe after 3 years, the Java developer team has made some new features in that interface by defining an abstract class prototype, sorry, not abstract class, abstract method prototype in that interface. Okay, but your code base is still depending on that interface only. What will happen? You did not know about that interface. I'm sorry, the new method, right? New abstract method, and therefore you did not implement it in your class where you implemented the interface. So now your code base is invalid. It will give compile time error because the new abstract method has been included in the interface in order to provide a new feature in Java language in that interface. That's why, so that the existing code base of organizations do not break down, when new features are added in a pre-existing system interface, the Java developer team came up with this idea that, okay, let's provide a default implementation of the features that we intend to provide in the interface. If a particular organization wants to work upon that feature, they will override it. If a particular organization does not want to deal with that feature and is happy with whatever was earlier, they do not have to override it, but at the same time, their code base will still be intact. It will not be broken because it's a default method. And so you do not need to override it. It will still keep your class as it is. I mean, the classes which implement that interface. So that was the reason why default methods were introduced in interface. Is the idea clear why default methods are there and your doubt?
Yes, sir. Yes, I understood. Thank you, sir.
Okay, great. Yeah, ma'am, you can continue.
Yeah.
Can I add one more thing here? Hello, someone was asking, is there a way that we can call the tell direction method that is there in interface B? Let's say if B in B, if tell direction method is defined as default, then as explained, we can make an instance of C and we can invoke tell direction, right? So even if we override the tell direction in class C, we can still be able to call tell direction in the interface, okay, using the super. But the way we call super is a little different. We have to say b dot super dot tell direction, and then we can invoke the tell direction that is there defined in the B.
Okay, okay. Thanks for the explanation.
Yeah. So, but it is little different from the way we call super in the extended classes. In extended, we directly call super dot the method, right? That actually calls the method that is there in the immediate parent. But in case of interface, we should be specific in which interfaces method we want to call. That's why we should say b dot tell direction, b dot super dot tell direction.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you. Should I show the options?
Ma'am, here is no error, no? It will generate output.
Yeah, here is
8 will be the answer.
Yeah.
There is no output here, no error here, because because example class is what extending Fibo class, like here all methods are what completely defined, and it is implementing statement interface. Here it has one abstract method that is defined here, and you are creating the object of example class and also object of Fibo class, and you're calling the display method of what example class and Fibonacci method of Fibo class. Yeah, so you will get some output here, no error in this code. Yeah, so what display method will display the required Fibonacci number is, so you are concatenating with space here also. So, and you are finding the Fibonacci of 7, and the Fibonacci of 7 will return some output that will be appended to the statement. So the required Fibonacci number is 8. So like, anyone has doubt, or is it clear for everyone?
It's okay, ma'am.
Okay, sure. This thing we have already discussed, no? Yeah.
Ma'am, we have to invoke go ahead through B.
Yes, that is like, yeah, you need to invoke go ahead through B only. Yeah, you cannot use A, no, like to invoke. So how can you invoke? You need to create object of class B, and you need to call the go ahead method. That's it, right? Okay, is it clear for everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so here A is an interface and B and C are classes. So here class C should be derived from class B and implemented from interface A. So so what are the correct you can say definitions, or yeah. So class C must be derived from class B. So class C must extend class B, and it should implement class A. So the why first one is wrong. It is implementing B, but it should be derived. So we are telling class C must derive class B. So it should use extends B, right? So but here we are using implements. It is not correct, no? So that's why it is wrong. And also similarly, extends, we are using extends for A, but here class C is implementing interface A. So you should use implements here. So why this option B is incorrect? Because it is using both implements, but what we are doing, we are inheriting class B, so it should use extends. So here, so we are using illegal not incorrect usage of what this implements and extends keywords. So this here, that is like class C is extending B, and it is implementing this interface here, that is in option 4. Okay, Is it clear for everyone?
I have just not a like a doubt, but just I want to point out that if we put extends b comma implements a, it will give an error because of that comma. It should be space instead.
Okay, here, right?
Yeah, in both option A and option B.
Options. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
we can only put comma in between
Yeah.
that
Okay.
implements
Yeah.
A comma
Got
B.
it. Got it. Yeah.
That should be a space. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So it should be space here.
And one small doubt in the previous question.
Okay.
You said in the interface A, since not interface A, abstract string in interface A, there's this one declare a method is declared, but it's not defined. Let us abstract string stop.
Okay. String
Yeah.
abstract string stop. Okay. It is.
Yeah, if you want to access that method from of interface A, if you want to access interfaces that method, like then, but there's nothing inside that. It's not being defined. So
Yeah.
what will be the answer output in that sense? So in this case, we are accessing the other method. Let us
You
go
are
ahead.
accessing go ahead method.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
I
A.
think you can try out that yourself. No? You can code and you
But
can
there,
check.
it's
Right?
not been defined. It's just declared. As you said, it has been properly given as abstract in front. And the
Yeah.
type is
You
abstract, so
have
everything is
defined.
proper.
Yeah. Everything is proper.
So
So
if we access this, then what will be the output? Is the
yeah. I think you can try out that you can declare the same class and you try to call that method. So you can check, like you can check, right, what will happen. Yeah. You can do that. No.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. What is a marker interface? Yeah. It should not contain any methods in its body. So marker interface has no methods in its body. So yeah, any like Arup sir or Bhaskar or Answer, like do you want to explain this like more about marker interface, or should I move to the next question?
Arup sir, do we want to go into the detail now?
No, it's fine, I think.
Yes, so just see, one example is there, java.serial io.serializable. That's what I was talking about. So this will be required in many cases. We will read about serialization and we will also do file handling. So there you will see that even, the example that I give, there are interfaces which you need to use in order to implement some features, right? In order to make those features. You will not define the interfaces. These are already defined in Java different packages. But we will use those interfaces to implement some feature, to achieve some feature. System interfaces. So marker interface mostly used for that. You can define a marker interface on your own also. It's just one particular usage is there. For that we use marker interfaces. We will discuss that I think later in detail. But as of now, you can think that it does not have any method. It's just like a marker only. You mark something in order to segregate that particular feature from someone else. So it would not make sense now. We will discuss this in detail in the upcoming weeks.
A grouping of the type, you can say.
Uh-huh.
So if I say compatible, there is an interface. Suppose compatible doesn't have any method, but whatever the classes implements the comparable interface, I'll say those are all comparable class. So they are of same type. This kind of notion.
Yes. Grouping of classes. Yeah, correct.
Yes, Nalini.
Yeah.
This would give an error because if we declare some variable inside the interface, it would automatically become a final public, and because of that we need to declare it, we need to initialize it. Sorry.
You are calling OC.b, right? It is declared, no? B variable is declared here.
The A variable is not declared.
Yeah, a variable is not declared. So yeah, because every variable is by default in your interface, it is final. So if you are what declaring something as final, what you cannot define it in any other place, no? Like if you are in interface itself, you should define that variable, you should initialize that variable. So int a equal to something, initialization should happen inside the interface itself. So the class C is implementing that interface. Even the class C cannot initialize the interface, cannot initialize this variable a, because it is final variable. That's why initialization should happen in the interface itself. If not, it will give compilation, our compilation fails. Okay. So like, should I move to next question, or yeah, if anyone has doubt, you can ask. Okay.
It should give 10 and 20, I guess.
Yeah, it will give 10 and 20, because the variables are what initialized in interface a. A variable is initialized in interface A, and B variable is initialized, and the class C is implementing that interface A and B. You're just creating the objects. It has no abstract method, no, so not no need to define any methods here. So you're just creating the object of class C, and you are calling A and B. A and B are already initialized to 10 and 20, so you will get 10 and 20 as output. Okay. Yeah, if anyone has doubt, you can ask.
This would give error because we can't change the final values.
Yeah, because the variables in the interface are by default final variables, no? So final variables cannot be reinitialized. Once if you have initialized the final variable in the interface, they cannot be reinitialized anywhere, so it will give you an error. So they cannot be reinitialized here also. You cannot say int a equal to 20 again, because it is already initialized here and it is final, no? So you cannot reinitialize an interface, and also you cannot reinitialize anywhere, so it will give compilation error.
Excuse me, ma'am. Hello.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, can you share these PDFs with us? These activity question solutions are there. Is it possible? That is not available in portal.
So is this Chandrasekhar?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Chandrasekhar.
Yeah, Chandrasekhar. So see, I think I have to discuss with JK, okay, because I think it's kind of a policy decision that for all courses we are not releasing it. And that's why we have a separate session to discuss the solution also. So not sure, I'll check with JK. And anyway, this is for our internal reference. So the grammar may not be complete, the explanation may not be complete. We'll just drop hints so that each of us can understand the solution in case sometime later. So when we prepare a solution document for you, we are more careful about how we write it. Here it is more like hints and tips and all that, right? So not sure it will be useful. So we have to check with JK anyway about releasing this.
Ma'am, I'm asking actually, if we miss this session, we need to go through the entire video to get the answer. With this PDF has in bottom, the reasons are properly mentioned. I can see the reasons are given. So that is very useful when we
Yeah, I mean,
need a
so-
quick
so-
revision for quizzes.
Yeah, so that's
why
what
I'm
I'm trying to.
at least before quiz, if you release, that would be fine.
No, I have to check with Chandrasekhar. I totally understand. I know there have been other students also who asked in the live session once or twice before, not live session in the discourse. But I don't think this is released for any course, right? I mean,
Yes, ma'am. But we are
except for
requesting,
foundational, yeah,
yes,
except
yes.
for foundational, I don't think this is released. So this was
But at
something like
least,
a policy decision that JQ is talking to me about. I will check with him. And if that is okay, we will release this.
Ma'am, because for many of us, this is like a new subjects we are going through.
Yeah. So the
it
thing
takes
is
lots
like
of
I think the problem for us will be like, like apart from the questions, we will also have to thoroughly review the solution also, like we do for the practice and graded assignment. That is like a lot of time for us because activity questions are like lots of questions, right? As compared to the practice and graded, which is like 10 each. So here what we do is only those questions where we are likely to have a confusion, we give explanation. And even otherwise, the solution, we have to explain it in detail and have a thorough review done by our team members as well. So if we have to plan to release it, we have to do it in a very professional way. So that's something that's going to be time taking for us.
If possible, before quizzes, please consider. If possible, please. That's
I'll check and let you know.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So I think it will be like, it will be difficult for you, like without what options, no? It will generate some numbers. Yeah.
Ma'am, from this, I can say that it will print the correct values, I think, because it's float, everything's correct.
Yeah, everything. It won't give error. It will print what triangle area is 0.5 into like 1.3 into 2.4, and also rectangle area is 5.4 into 1.25. That values of this what, yeah, it won't generate any error because interface has areas and it has one abstract method area, and you are defining that methods in the classes triangle and rect, which are implementing the areas interface. Yeah, and you are creating objects of those classes triangle and rectangle, and you are calling the area methods. That's all right. So it won't give, there is no error in this code because everything is proper, and yeah, it will just calculate the areas and it will print them. Okay, is everything clear or? Okay, I will move to the next question. So yeah, consider the requirements given below for an interface behavior. So behavior is an interface, and identify the correct declaration for the interface. So name of the interface is behavior, and methods in the interface are walk, fly, and swim. Two classes like humans and parrots must implement the interface behavior such that humans class implements or overrides the methods walk and swim only, and the parrots class implements or overrides the methods fly only. So you have method interface, you have interface called named behavior, and there are methods fly, walk, swim, right? And there are two classes which implements interface behavior. So in a humans class, you are going to override walk and swim methods only, and in the parrots class, you are overriding this fly method only. So what should be the correct definition of your interface such that what you should do with the following things in your class humans and parrots. So these two classes are not abstract. You are giving the class humans and parrots are normal classes, like that. those are not abstract classes. Okay. So how should you define your methods in the behavior such that it should happen in your classes? The classes must not be abstract. So if you are not going to override any method of your interface, then it should not be abstract. No, then there must be some definition for that method. So in the humans
Some
class,
default definition must
yeah,
be.
must be given, because you are overriding only walk and swim in the humans class, and in the parents class you are overriding fly method. That means default that means walk and swim should have some default explanation, that the method should not be abstract. No, because these parrots and humans are not abstract classes. There must be some definitions for these functions. That's why this the correct definition you should declare your interface in this way, so that this will happen. Okay, let's see other cases. So if you are defining abstract all these methods as abstract in your interface behavior, then the class must be abstract. No, humans class and parrots class must be abstract, because you are not overriding what fly method in your humans class and walk and swim methods in your parrots class. You are not overriding. No, if the methods are abstract, then you should override them in your child class. If not, you should declare that classes as abstract. That is not happening here. That means there is some default definition of those methods. Okay, is it clear? So why static? Why do this one? This is not possible. Interface cannot have what? Interface cannot have concrete methods in it. It should have only abstract or default or static methods. So option B and D are okay. Like these are incorrect. Why this is also incorrect? Because static methods also cannot be overridden in your in the implemented classes. That's why this is also incorrect, because walk and swim are overridden in the humans class and fly is overridden in the parrots class. Okay. Yeah, you can ask, like if you have some doubt in this, yeah, you can ask, or we'll move to the next thing. Yeah, I think from 4.3 answer, will you continue?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm stopping my screen sharing.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See here, which of the following statements is true? Okay. So here we can define a private class inside another class. We can define a static inner class inside another class. We can define local inner class inside another class. All these are possible. Okay. So already private inner class discussed in the lectures, and static inner class and a local inner class also possible. Okay. So let me explain this. See here. So here it is outer class A. So here I am defining a private inner class with the name AA. Okay, it has its own method called show. Okay, next I define another static inner class. This is private inner class. This is static inner class. Okay. Here static inner class is AAA, AAA. Okay. So this is own method of the static inner class AAA. Okay. Next, we can also declare here. See here, what is the third option? We can define a local inner class. Okay. So these private inner class and the static inner class, we can define inside of the class. But here local inner class means we can define inside of the method. It is also possible. Okay. So see here void F1 is there, no? So here I'm able to define a class like this. This is called a local inner class. Okay. Local inner class means we should define it in a method inside of the method. Okay. Inside of the method also we are able to declare a class like this. So it is local inner class, and this is the its own method of the this class. Yeah.
Sir, I have one question about that static class. And does all the methods inside it automatically become static also?
No, not static. So here, this class is only static.
Okay, but then how is it different from a private, like a class?
Yeah, you cannot access this class outside of the this class. Okay, that's why I created object here. No, see here void obj oa is equal to new aa. I created object inside of the class in this method, and I call show method here. And coming to static class, see here static class here. See a dot AAA. So this is static class, no? So it is defined in the A class. So, okay, it is defined in the A class as a static class. So as we know that, so static member of a class can be accessed directly using class name. So that's why A dot AAA. Okay. So outside of the class, I am accessing it. So A AAA static inner is equal to new A dot AAA. So I'm creating object for static inner class. Okay. So it is reside within the class A. That's why I'm calling okay A dot AAA, because it is of type static. No, that's why I'm calling static inner dot show. So it is calling its inner class show method.
So sir, the show function will not be called through the A dot show, right?
What? This show method call from static inner class, not from. Can you repeat once?
My question is, if I want to call this show function,
okay,
I have to have object, right?
Yeah. So without object we cannot call, no? So
okay.
Here the way of object creation is different. Okay. And this is a local inner class. Okay. So local inner class. So we cannot access this outside. It's a scope within the method only, no?
Yeah, only
okay.
within this.
Yeah, within this only, no? So that's why I created object here and I call this method here only. So whenever you call this F1, okay. So then, so here, see here, AA dot F1, no? So F1 means control will come to here and it will create an object for local inner class and it will call OA dot show. Okay. Next, whenever you called OA dot OBJ, so control will come to OBJ method. Okay. So in OBJ method, what you have written, you created an object for private inner class and you are calling show method. So this show method call from the private inner class. Is it clear?
Yeah. For me, it is clear.
Yeah. Okay. So next one. So consider the statements given below and identify the correct option. See here, employee and date. There are two classes. Okay, assume. So employee and date are two classes. Date class, I want to available this date class only to the employee class. How is it possible?
Then we need to make it private.
Yeah, we should make it private, but not outside of the employee.
No, only
Okay.
inside the, yeah.
Yeah, inside of the employee. Okay. So that's it. This is the thing I have written. Okay. So here reverse this one. And here I'm telling that this is not possible to make only available to employee class. This status. Okay. And here I am telling that define employee class as public and private class, day class as private separately. So it is also not possible.
It is out of scope.
Yeah. Is it clear for everyone? Shall I move to next question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So according to the above question, you can easily say this. So declaring a class as private is not useful because a private class cannot be instantiated. So read the statement and choose the correct option.
Within the scope, if I use it, then I can create the private class object, right?
Yeah, if it is inner class, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, we can't. No.
And private class, if I define any private class, then only within this file I can access it.
Yeah. Within that class only you are able to access. Is it clear for everyone? Or anybody had doubt? You can ask. Okay. Shall I move to next question?
Yeah, please.
You can easily answer for this question. So here I declared two variables, private variables A and B, and here I declared two accessors. I written accessors.
Yeah, it's a 10 and 20. Very straightforward.
What is the output? Whether it is printing a default values or 10 and 20, or is there any compile time error? What is the output?
I'm accessing within the member function, so there should not be any.
Okay. Yeah. Here the question: is it possible to set values by using this single set method? We know mutators like public void set A, public void set B, like that. No, we are not using. I'm setting values to A and B using a single method. Is it possible or not?
Yes, it's possible.
Yeah, what is the problem? Is it possible? Yeah.
Yeah,
There is
it's
no-
possible. Okay, so there is no error in this, right? So simply these values 10 and 20 will set to the A and B, and I'm going to call using the accessors program.get A and program.get. So simply it
Only
will
this
get-
private member is final, then will not be changed.
Yeah. If it is final, we can't. Then you should, if it is final, you should give the value here only, no?
Yeah. I have to.
Without initialization, you won't be able to declare a variable as final.
Yeah, then it will give the comparison error.
Yeah. Okay. So any
So
doubts in this?
Anand, one quick question.
Okay.
So the activity questions are covering some of the aspects that are not discussed in the lectures, right?
Yeah.
So is it possible to have these kind of questions in exams also?
We'll try to stick as much as is possible in the lectures, but you should also be aware of like whatever we are discussing. See, the live sessions are generally not attended by everyone, right? But the activity questions are supposed to be attempted by everyone. So, and it is not possible to cover everything with respect to Java in the lectures also, right? And that's why we are giving this additional input. So to some extent, important aspects, whatever are covered outside might be in the quizzes also, like we have not decided, but In general, we don't do that. Yeah. But I can't assure you that there won't be any question from the activity questions.
No, especially the type of inner classes, the question number 1, right? The type of inner classes, only one of them was discussed in the lecture. The dynamics of the other 2 types are not discussed. So there could be several scenarios that they come into play while with those the other 2 declarations.
We
right?
won't be asking such difficult. I mean, in the sense that maybe if we ask something outside, it will be directly that activity kind of question. Like, no, I mean, the example which Anand was talking to you about, right? The static inner class, find the private inner class and the local inner class, right? That question is what you're referring to, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. The option number 1 has
correct.
the
So
3
we
options.
won't be asking. So we won't be asking anything which is like even slightly outside the purview of those kind of. I mean, it may be this question or slightly twisted or something. I don't know. Like we have not. I don't think we'll be giving anything that will put the students in trouble at all. So I mean,
no,
I
it's
can't.
not about that. If that is the expectation, we will be able to do that, provided you are able to provide some pointers or references of the material where, for example, especially in the week 4, maybe not this activity question, probably in the next activity question, like there were some questions about the threads. So though professor
no,
mentioned
those won't
about,
be asked. Those won't be asked until anyway we are going to handle threads in detail in the later weeks. Okay, so the quiz questions are going to be there. That will be only after that is dealt in detail. This question somehow we just wanted to give you a flavor of like what threads are, and I think that will be explained. So Arun, we were planning to do that in some session, right? The thread that just one question.
Yeah,
that
we
one
wanted
question
to.
alone.
Yeah. Well, we just wanted to like check you out, like what the concurrency basically. But we'll do it in details in week 7 or 8, I think.
And in some coming week we'll be, so definitely that won't be asked in any other way. That's a very I mean, it's a very vast topic, so you won't be asked any questions on that. But this is like, I mean, it is not possible to address everything in the class, so we are giving you samples, and whatever are coming for quizzes will definitely, you will be able to do it if you have done the activity questions, practice questions, graded questions, and attended the lectures. There won't be anything beyond that. That's for sure.
Okay. The quiz one will have weeks until week 6, is it, ma'am?
No. Weeks 1 to 4.
Okay, 1 to 4. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and the quiz 2 is weeks 1 to 8. The other one is weeks 1 to 12. Of course, with more emphasis on the weeks which have not been covered in the previous quiz.
Yeah, sure. Only this week I found the questions, little bit out of what the scope of what we discussed in the lecture. So I just wanted.
Yeah. So I think it's Govind I'm talking to, right? Is it correct? Or
yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So Govind, I think you are a bit experienced with Java, right?
Yes, I'm experienced. I'm just speaking for others.
Precisely. So people who are writing Java for the first time, right? It will be difficult for them even if we ask them, like they'll be totally in the dark. So we will definitely not be doing that. So if you have attempted all these questions, activity, practice, graded, and attended the lectures, then you are very much good to go.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, Anand, you can continue. Thank you.
Yeah, Arup sir, do you want to discuss this 4.2?
No, this is just for testing. I don't want to discuss them. Like I want everybody should run it and check it out what the output is coming and why it is coming.
Okay.
That is only the reason the question is given. Even you can go next, Anand sir.
Okay.
So this one. So these are not actually in this particular week, but in the callback you should have a flavor like how the concurrent execution may happen. So for that reason, these are examples are given so that you can check it out. So there is no like this kind of question will appear for this quiz 1. So whenever we'll do actually the concurrent programming, that time we'll go into details. Anand sir, you can move to the next week also, next lecture also. Yeah, you can discuss this, Anand sir.
Yeah. So see here. So match the following. So here abstract method. See here abstract method. it should be overrid. Okay, it should be overridden. It's a subclass. Okay, so you can define a abstract method in an abstract class, or we can also have the abstract methods in interface. Whenever you implement an interface or any abstract class, it should be overrid abstract class. Whatever the methods, abstract methods in that particular abstract class or interface, we should override in its subclass. Okay, so abstract class, it should be overridden. Okay, next second one, interface. Okay, so already you know that not only interface, abstract class also, okay, we cannot be initialized. Okay, interface cannot be initialized. Okay, so you can replace it with the abstract class also. So abstract class also cannot be initialized. Okay, but we can have interface reference variable can hold its implemented class object, but we cannot instantiate the interface or abstract class directly. Okay, next, iterator. Okay, so it can be used to loop through the collections. Okay, so collections are not introduced now. So iterator is used to loop through the collections. So collection has some elements in it. Okay, so collections basically used to hold the elements. Okay, so whatever the elements we have in the collection classes, so we can get it by using the iterator. Sir already explained this iterator in lecture. We have has next method and get next method. First, we have to check whether element is in collection collection object or not. Okay, so if it is available in the next location of the collection object, it will return true. Then we are going to get that element. Okay, 1 second. For example, see here. For example, your object contain the values like this. Sorry. Just for your understanding purpose, I am telling this. So for example, it has some elements like Java and IITM. Sorry, IITM. So consider this as an object. So internally, it is storing the values like this. Okay, assume. Okay, so Java and Python. For example, it has 3 values in it. Object contains these 3 values. Okay, first one is Python, IITM, and Java. So these are the, sorry. So these are the values in the object. Okay. So what iterator will do? Okay. First, iterator object cursor will be here. Sorry. Cursor will be here. So here we are going to, okay, write within a while loop. Okay. So in while loop, what we are going to write is while. Okay. So iterator object dot has next. Okay. First, we are going to check whether element is in the object or not, collection object or not. Okay. First, we are going to check. So if it is there, then we are going to get that object. See here, system dot out dot println of it dot get next. So like this. Okay. So now your object, iterator object is going to, okay, call the has next method. Okay. So has next means it is moving to the next location of the, okay, object. So it is coming to here. Okay. It dot has next. So if the element is found in the next location, it will return true. It will return true. So if it will return true, no? So here Python, okay, some value is there, no? So it will return true. So now loop control will come into the loop. Next, it dot get next means whatever in this position, whatever the value is there, it is going to get by using it dot get next. So get next method is used to get the value from the current location. Okay. Next. So loop again call the it dot next method. No. So now control. Cursor will move to the next location. So here also element is there. So again, it will return true. So in this location, we are going to get the value by using it.getNext. Next, again, it will call the it.next. So value is there now. So it will return true and it will get the value. Again, it will call the it.hasNext. So there is no value present here. So it will return false. So now your loop will be terminated. Like this, the values are get by using the iterator. Okay. Next, last one, private class. Okay. So private class, it allows additional degree of encapsulation. Okay. So already we discussed about this in previous class, like a employee and a date class. Is there no? So I want to made available a date class. I want to made available only to the employee class. No. So then I will make it as a private. Okay. So it allows additional degree of encapsulation. Is it clear for everyone?
Yeah. For me, it is clear.
Yeah. But I have those, we can. So these things also you can practice. So see here, i.hasNext and next. So SAR in lecture SAR created user-defined iterator, but this is a predefined iterator. So this is available in java.util package. So in order to get the iterator object, you need to call iterator method. Okay, it will not only work for array list, it is also work for another collection objects like linked list, yeah, vector, yeah. So for those classes also you can use this iterator. Okay, so one of the example for the collection class is array list. Okay, so hasNext will check whether element is found in the collection object or not. Okay, so Ram, Sham, Henry, Joker, Moker, Locker, up to this it will give true. So whenever your cursor will come to here, okay, so whenever you call hasNext method, there is no method after locker, no. So then it will return false. So then your loop will be terminated. So simply iterator is used to traverse through the elements in the collection object. So this is a for each loop. By using for each loop also we can get the values. Okay, so here you are passing a string object here, no? Oh, okay, so here it will give compile time error because here it should be string type, no? Because
No,
here you are passing what?
It should be character type.
Yeah.
Yeah, but character type and integer type is the same, I believe.
No, it should be string type. Here you are passing, you created an object for a string, no?
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Yeah. So it should be string, not character. So it will generate compile type. Okay, Arup sir, questions are.
Yeah, so if you have any other doubts, we can take it. And next day we'll start with the practice questions. So we'll discuss few practice questions. And if you have any doubt, you can clarify, and we'll try to do some programming also. So today, if you have any doubt, you can ask.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, will we not have solve with a session like live coding where like Python or?
We'll do some coding. We told no.
Okay.
From Thursday, we'll have some coding. But how we'll do, like the approach, how it will be, that we have to decide. But their coding sessions will be there.
So like we have done previously coding session in Python, and now we're doing in system commands where there is a replete teams and
Yeah, I'm telling we'll do it, but how we'll do that we haven't decided. We'll do it on Thursday something.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Anything? So I don't think anybody having any question. Tanya, shall we?
Yeah, so no more questions, is it? I mean, we still have another 7 minutes to go. So.
Yeah.
Peer deck also, Bhaskar, are there any questions with the peer deck? Somebody had asked for the peer deck idea, I guess. So. Bhaskar on the call?
No, I think we don't have anything.
Okay. Okay, fine, sure.
Okay.
I think we can wind up. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, then. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.